everyone. This is Mr. Dice again, your business teacher and business consultant. And today I want to discuss with you about what is a multi-site location business. I've seen very often confusions being made between national and multinational companies, between outsourcing and offshoring, and not understanding what they actually mean and which are the advantages they bring once they are implemented and once a company opts to actually go for them. And I decided to address this issue. So first of all, let's start with what is a multi-site location business. It is a business that operates in more than one country. Okay, in more than one country, or it could be in more than one site or location. Okay, so imagine it can either be in multiple countries, or it can be in the same country in multiple cities, or in the same city but in different locations within that city. Okay, now one good example of a multi-site location business that you can go and find out for yourselves. You just open Google and just Google the most popular bank. Let's say we should go and Google the most popular bank in your country, and then decide if it is or not a multi-site location business by looking at, branches, location, cities, and why not even countries. Okay? Now, if you want to take this example to the Romanian market over here, I think one of the best examples that you can find out is by Googling and seeking for more information about Transilvania Bank. Okay? Not only that they're present in every large or small city in Romania, they're even present on in villages and in the rural side. And if you take a big city, you could have multiple locations within the same city, perhaps in every neighborhood from that city, that they would have a branch. And if I recall correctly, they also had a branch in Italy. So it's also a multinational from this point of view. So location, if it's within the same country, the same city, in different cities or in different countries, it is a multi-site location business. Now, what would be the advantages or disadvantages of actually opting for this model of business? We are familiar up to now with key terms such as economies of scale, like advantages of growth, yeah? Advantages of growth, which are economies of scale. This would be number one. Then you would have proximity. Proximity. What do I mean by proximity? You are close to customers. Oh, I'm really craving for a Dunkin' Donut. If the answer is you have to walk 5 miles and 8 blocks to actually be able to find that donut and enjoy it, I can assure you, because you're in a rush, most probably, that you're gonna opt for a competitor or for an alternative over there. So you're gonna drop the loyalty when it comes to Dunkin' Donuts. That's why proximity to client is really important. Yeah, you want to make it easy for them to find you and to buy from you, and really convenient. And it's also an amazing opportunity for the company to understand better the market that they're playing on, the culture, and the consumer profile. How much on an average would someone spend if they were to enter in our bakery? What would be the most popular products that they would buy within our bakery? What's the culture in this country when it comes to consumption per capita for a daily bread? Okay, these are information that you can get if you're close to the market and you have this proximity, so you can understand it better. And how are you going to use this? Well, it's very simple. You're going to take all this blended experience and knowledge and you're going to translate it into better products, offers, packages. To put it in a Marlon Brando nutshell, you're going to make an offer that the client can't refuse. And the only way to do so is by knowing your client. Now, going to disadvantages of operating a multi-site location business, the most popular one, which we know is in general terms a disadvantage from growing, are diseconomies of scale. How do we know that we encounter diseconomies of scale and they're an advantage? We know this from previous video, is when our average cost of production per unit starts to skyrocket. That's when we are actually hitting diseconomies of scale. Now, on top of this, because you not only operate, even if you operate in the same country, in different cities, I can assure you that it can be cultural barriers. But you would have, if you're operating in several countries, you would have cultural and language barriers. Okay? And last but not least, it will be very hard to actually hold the grip in how you run the business and assure uniformity. Okay? And assure uniformity in how the business is run, it operates, what it provides, a number of complaints, how it actually comes with a solution to a problem. It would be very, very challenging. Not to mention, if you were to actually aim for keeping this model in a centralized way, it would practically be, I would say, close to impossible. Now, let's bear in mind that we have a different video where we have discussed in detail what multinationals are, but I'm going to bring in the term again and make a small recap, because we're going to tie in two keywords towards the key term, which is a multinational. So a multinational is, first of all, the biggest multinationals are the biggest multi-site location businesses out there in the world, and they actually operate or produce, why not both of them, in more than one country. Yeah, this is the small recap when it comes to what are multinationals. But it ties with this lesson because they are the biggest multi-site location business that you can actually find out there as a very good example. So two key terms that are associated with a multinational, and they're not very well explained how they are linked towards it, is first of all, offshoring. Okay? Offshoring. What does this mean? So offshoring answers to the question, where does the work of the business get done? So where is the work done? This is the key question for offshoring. Okay? And it's the process of transferring work done by a business, in a specific location, let's say in a certain country, okay, to another business but within the same umbrella, I mean in the same family, in a different country. And I want you to imagine over here that you are a US-based business which actually is offshoring the work for the products that it actually sells to their business in Mexico. Okay? Now, how is offshoring, yes, which is within the same umbrella, the same family, the same business, different to the other key term, which is outsourcing? How is it different? Well, if the key question to offshoring is where is the work being done, yeah, the key question to outsourcing is who does the work. Okay? And to put this in a more detailed explanation is actually delegating a part of our work. Okay, and I'm going to write with a different color so you can actually see the difference. To an external, so an external, outsider supplier. So here you would have the same family, same umbrella, while here you would go externally to an outsider, to an outside supplier. Okay, and this is very popular, and I can give you some insights from automotive. This is actually what Volkswagen does, with Continental. They delegate a part of their work, which involves doing the tires, the wheels, and certain belts from the engine, done by Continental, and then they're taken by Volkswagen, and they're assembled. Their brand remains over there, but overall, you're buying the Volkswagen car. So this is a very good example that I would consider for outsourcing. Okay. And another good example that you can take for outsourcing in terms of, by the way, this is very popular in the IT industry. Now you would have an IT company in UK which would outsource basic work, okay, to a company in India. Okay? And we're going to see some of the reasons why they actually do this. Why would you be interested in outsourcing or offshoring? We're going to see some reasons. But you actually save time and resources this way. So you save time and resources which will allow you to focus on frying bigger fish like your branch over here in UK, and deal with much higher level tasks or tickets. So it's an amazing way if you find a reliable external supplier to, let's say, delegate some of the work, transfer some of the work over there so you can focus on frying bigger fish. Now, why the interest in offshoring and outsourcing? Okay, so why? Why do these? Why do all this? Why put up with this headache? Why? Okay, so first of all, because you might have lower cost of production. Okay, and by this I mean when it comes to wages and raw materials. Yeah, I'm sure that if they were to do their goods in Mexico, I'm sure that the wages would be lower than in US, therefore you would have a lower cost of production, then would mean higher added value and perhaps more profit for the business. Number two would be cost of expansion. You could have a lower cost of expansion. By the way, some of these reasons that answer the question why would you opt for offshoring or outsourcing might be applicable only to one of them, but I'm trying to sum up in broader terms over here, so I would actually shoot two birds with the same stone over here. So lower cost of expansion. Just imagine if you were to expand your factory in LA, I'm sure that the price per square meter over there would be skyrocket higher than in comparison with Mexico. And you might be in the situation, if you're a factory at the outskirts of the city, that you would have neighbors, other factories around you, and you would be unable to actually expand that factory. While as in Mexico, you might have plenty of space, and why not even government support. Okay, and this support can be through grants, subsidies, lower taxes. Now this is one that actually multinationals really love about it. Lower taxes, and last but not least, you would have more resources or access to resources that are actually scarce in the initial location where you started your business. Yeah. So these being said, I think there are many advantages we could talk about when it comes to offshoring, the process of offshoring or transferring work that is done by the same company in Romania to I would say India. You would have lower wages, perhaps, or more certainly, perhaps the price of raw materials would be much lower over there, and it stays under the same umbrella, the same family. While when it comes to outsourcing, you are delegating a part of your work to an external supplier. Gotta make sure they're very trustworthy, gotta make sure it's economically feasible, and by delegating this part of the work, it's done at the same quality, and it allows you to focus on higher stakes and put your time into something that brings in more added value for your business. Thank you very much for watching this video, and don't forget, if you have any business queries, just drop me a line and I'll help you pull it through.